معانا السيد أنكوش ارورا، الرئيس التنفيذي لمجموعة المنصور للسيارات، واحد من أهم المؤثرين في قطاع السيارات في مصر. أهلا بيك سيد أنكوش.
شكرا يا مستر إسلام. Pleasure to meet you.
مستر أنكوش، خلينا نبدأ من الآخر، من آخر محطة بدأتوا فيها، BYD. ناس كتير استغربت من أسعار BYD مقارنة بالأسعار الاستيراد، وده سبب يمكن لغط كبير على السوشيال ميديا. انتوا ليه مزودين الأسعار؟ أو السؤال اللي كان بيطرح نفسه، ليه مزودين الأسعار؟
Islam, we have to understand that pricing is a function of what the product is, right?
Yeah.
And where the brand needs to position itself. Unfortunately, over the last 2 years, a lot of vehicles got imported in the parallel market, which were different specs, not approved specifications, right? Not through any official importer or distributor, without any warranty, without any service support, etc. Right? So BYD is, number one, a technology company. Number two, the product is filled with the latest technology, and the pricing, we believe, is commensurate with what we are offering as a product to the consumer. The expectations of the market, yes, can be based on what they have seen in the past, but what they have seen in the past may not necessarily be the right product for the market, which is supported by the OEM with the right product specifications. All right. As an example, let me ask a question. Right?
Okay.
Is the product that was coming in through different sources before, all right, did it comply with hot climate driving conditions? Did it comply with the bad road driving conditions? All right. Maybe, maybe not. All right. But what we are guaranteeing today, a product, right, that we have bought to the market, which has been approved by the OEM, by the principals BYD, that has been duly tested for hot climate conditions, that has been duly tested for Egyptian road driving conditions, right? And that is duly guaranteed and warranted for the battery for 8 years, for the vehicle for 6 years, right? So you have to keep this whole equation in mind before coming to only the pricing point, right? In our belief, the BYD products are very competitively priced, right, for what they offer in terms of technology, in terms of features, content, and more importantly, the right, safe driving experience.
لكن في عملاء، الكلام اللي حضرتك بتقوله كلام كويس جدا، ولكن في عملاء بالفعل بقى لهم اكتر من 5 و6 سنين ماشيين بالعربيه وما صادفوش اي نوع من المشاكل، والعربيه شغاله معاهم بسعر اقل، فانا ليه ادفع اكتر طالما ممكن ادفع اقل؟
Alhamdulillah, I'm glad there are no issues, all right? But you have to understand from an OEM perspective, right? There is no gap that they can accept, all right? And there is no probability of failure that they can accept, all right? So even if there is a 0.001% chance of any failure or a problem, the OEM will not release the product officially for a market either directly by themselves or through a distributor. I hope there is never a problem, right? But what if there is one car that has a problem?
Yeah.
Who will take the guarantee? Who will be liable for this?
The company.
Exactly. So till the time the company is guaranteeing the liability of the product, all right, they have to stand behind it and be not even 99.99% sure, 100% sure, right?
Yes.
That the product will perform well, the product is adapted to the driving conditions, the environmental conditions of a particular country. And that is extremely critical because end of the day, it is the name of the OEM, it is the name of the importer or distributor like us, Mansoor Automotive, that needs to stand behind the product and in turn stand behind the customer.
Technology Center ده الاسم الجديد او الاسم اللي اعتمدته BYD لمراكز الخدمه، وكلنا شفناه وهو استثماره ضخم جدا. بداتوا بصاله عرض واحده، متوقع كم صاله عرض تبقى جاهزه بنهايه 2026؟
Why Technology Center? Because like I mentioned, BYD is not a car company, it's a technology company, right? And being a company that only offers new energy vehicles to consumers, right, it is very important to explain to the customers what this technology is. How does it work? What does it mean for them? how does it benefit them, right? And therefore, we invested in the first technology center, which honestly, Mr. Islam, has received a phenomenal response within 1 week of opening. Inshallah, by April, we will have at least 16 showrooms or technology centers or mini, big, and medium-sized technology centers across the country.
In same style, in same CI?
Similar, same CI, all right. Similar style, all right. Some elements will be there, some elements might not be there, depending on the size of the facility, all right. As an example, the second technology center is going to open the next 4 to 5 days in East Cairo, in New Cairo, right? And you will see, while the size might be a little smaller, but all the elements of the technology center can be seen by consumers in this branch also. So inshallah, by April, we will have about 16 branches.
مستر أنكوش، نرجع لحاجة مهمة جدا. مجموعة المنصور تقريبا بتستحوذ على 18% من حجم السوق، وده بيضع عليكم عبء. الناس كتير قوي منتظرة انخفاض أسعار أكتر، وأنتم أحد المؤثرين في السوق زي ما قلت، وقبل كده سعرتوا منتجات والسوق كله مشي وراكوا أو جري وراكوا في التخفيضات عشان سعرتوا أسعار كويسة. هنلاقي التخفيضات قريب تاني؟
Again, it's Islam. It's not a matter of low price or high price, right? End of the day, it is very important to give the right value to the customer, right? Based on the product that you're offering, based on the service that you're offering, right? And from our perspective, we do not say that we want to be the cheapest in the market, right? And we do not say we want to be the most expensive in the market. Our philosophy is very clear. When we discuss with our OEMs price positioning, what the product is offering to the customer is what is the right competitive total value offering to the consumer. Yes, back to your question on BYD, right? That you said the market was expecting lower prices versus what we are offering. I clarified this myth that it depends on what product you're offering, right? And it depends on what content in the product you're offering. So we will continue to offer the best value to our consumers, right? Based on the product, based on the brand, right? And based on the segment that the product belongs to. End of the day, our intention is to get the right products for the market that fulfill the needs of the consumers, right? And at the same time, give them a total value proposition, which is a competitive pricing, real good after-sale support, right? And ensuring that the resale value of their product does not go bad over the 3-4 years of ownership, because that is very important. And therefore, we are not in the habit as a company to launch a product and then reduce prices. No, we don't do that. Yes, if the benefit is on account of currency or on account of a taxation, then yes, we need to pass that benefit to the consumer, right? But as a business philosophy, we do not go with offering a product at a wrong price and then cut the price, right? Yeah. Because that harms the customer. Because imagine if somebody bought a car 6 months ago, all right, and you go and drop the price because you had a different expectation of volume and that did not happen, so you want to cut the price and sell it. What happens to the value of the car of that customer who bought it 6 months ago?
That's a big problem.
We've killed the resale value. So from our perspective, it's very simple. What is the product that the brand is offering? Where does the brand compete in the market, right? What is the total value proposition of that product, which will be meaningful to the consumer? And that means, depending on where the brand is positioned, where the product is positioned, and how competitive the product is, the pricing will be set accordingly.
ننقل لنقطة تانية يا مستر أنكوش. عندكم علامتين أوروبيتين، أوبل وبيجو. في ظل في عالمية دلوقتي أو في العالم كله هناك خطر يهدد العلامات الأوروبية بسبب العربيات الصينية والتكنولوجيا الصينية أو خاصة في النيو إلكتريك فيكلز أو العربيات الطاقة الجديدة. أنت شايف إيه مستقبل بيجو أوبل مع المنصور؟ لأن في كلام كمان إن هم يعني يقال إن بيجو أوبل بقوا عبء على المنصور.
Number one, it is not a burden. Let me be very clear. It's not a burden, right? Yeah. Number two, like I mentioned, Mr. Islam, every brand has a role to play, right? Every brand has its own value proposition. Okay. Yes, the invasion of the Chinese OEMs, not just in Egypt, but globally, in the last 2 years has been massive, right? And yet there is a certain section of the market which is still believing and desiring European brands. Now, that section of the market might have reduced, but it's a matter of time when the value proposition of the European brands needs to be reconfigured, right? And you will still find buyers coming in or customers coming in to buy European brands. So for me, as I mentioned to you many times in our previous meetings too, right, that our automotive business is a cyclical business, right? And the cyclical part comes in two ways, all right? One is the market, and the second is the product portfolio, right? Because every product has a life, and then you see the change in the product or the upgrade in the product. So as I see today, you will see that the European brands will come back aggressive in the very near future to upgrade their portfolio, to make it more competitive, right? In order to ensure that they have a place in the market. So I believe that the great brand equity that a brand like Peugeot or Opel has in Egypt and in the market for the last 25 years, 30 years, 40 years,
Yes.
right? That is not going to go away so quickly. There will be a market for those brands. There will be a customer for those brands. It's a matter of correcting the equation. It's a matter of correcting the equation, whether in terms of the product offering or in terms of the value proposition. And when that happens, you will see these brands continue to grow and continue to have meaningful value for the business. So no way that I see these brands as a burden.
2026 و27 انت شايف ان السوق بيكبر وهيوسع، وهل هيكبر بنسبة كام؟ وهل العربيات الطاقة الجديدة او الNEVs هتبقى نسبتها كام في الزيادة؟
Right. So when you look at the last 3 years, Mr. Islam, all right, the market obviously declined for multiple reasons, right? But 25, we saw the market coming back, right? And the growth was about 51% versus 24. I expect in 26 and 27 an average growth rate of 15 to 20% in the market, right?
Yeah.
In the total market, which will help us to cross the 300,000 plus mark or 325, 340,000 mark by the end of 27. When we look at the 300,000 mark, all right, passenger cars contribute about 240, 250,000, commercial vehicles 50,000, right? Today, as we sit at the end of 25, all right, new energy vehicles contributed to about 5 to 6%. Total registration of new energy vehicles, all right, was close to about 11,000 new energy.
Yeah.
I'm expecting that in 26, this number at a bare minimum will double. And if the infrastructure keeps pace, right, and the regulatory environment and the policy environment remain...
But you mean EV car only or NEVs?
NEVs,
yeah.
I'm talking NEVs in total,
Okay.
all right, which is electric,
REV
and plug-in hybrid, all right. By end of 27, I'm expecting that this number should be anything between 25 to 30,000 vehicles, all right, which will be about 12 to 14% of the market, all right. And if we hit that number, I think it's a fantastic adoption rate that we will get, because this will give us the momentum, the scale, the mass for increasing the customer confidence to start adopting more and more new energy vehicles. So the new energy vehicle is a journey, right? It's a journey that you have to invest in, right? And once it reaches a critical mass, you will see the explosion.
Soon. Very soon, yeah.
Very soon.
ده هيرجعنا تاني لBYD. BYD هي اللاعب الاساسي في سوق الكهرباء في العالم كله، او سوق العربيات الطاقه الجديده، وهي في اي ماركت بتبيع كتير جدا. ومش عايز اقول لك ان السوق كله او كل المنافسين او كانوا منتظرين BYD وهتشوف هتعمل ايه. بدون BYD السوق مش هيكبر بشكل كبير، خلينا نكون واقعيين، مهما كان الشركات الثانيه علامات الثانيه نزلت. BYD هرجع تاني بالاسعار دي، لو ما حققتش مبيعات كبيره السوق مش هيكبر.
From our perspective, all right, like I mentioned to you, the product that we are offering, full support that we are offering, all right, and a product that is 100% warranted and guaranteed by BYD and by Mansoor, we believe the pricing is very, very competitive, right? And end of the day, Islam, numbers talk, right?
Yeah.
You and me can keep arguing or discussing or debating, or the social media can keep debating. End of the day, the numbers talk, all right? And let me just give you a small insight.
Okay.
We launched BYD last Thursday,
Yes.
all right, on the 5th of February. As of Sunday yesterday, we had more than 1,200 visitors in the BYD Technology Center, in one technology center, 1,200.
Yes.
Right? And we have sold more than 90 vehicles in less than a week. Because, like I said, just don't look at the pricing, look at the full, complete package.
Yeah.
All right? Take an example, which I do not know whether consumers are aware or not. All right? With buying an electric vehicle from BYD, all right, you are getting a charging package of 50,000 pounds value with the vehicle, because this is BYD standard. Every vehicle which is electric comes with a BYD approved, BYD branded charger, wall charger, comes with the charging cable, and comes with a vehicle to load charging cable. Now, if you go outside and buy this product, all right, you're not getting the charger, you're paying 35, 40,000 pounds for the charger, you're paying 10,000 pounds for the charging cable, all right, and V to load. If you don't want it, you don't take it, but if you want it, then it's another 10,000 pounds. But this, being fair to the customer, is coming as a package with the vehicle, number one. Number two, we have a very aggressive plan with BYD, right? And BYD has a very aggressive plan for Egypt. We have seen only 2 products right now. There is more to come, right? And there is more to come, which is going to benefit different segments of the market, right? From further affordable vehicles to luxury vehicles to premium vehicles, you will see the full range.
Yes.
Right. And that's when you will see the full game plan and the full force of BYD and its offering to the market. So stay tuned. In a couple of months, you will see all of that coming in to serve the Egyptian consumer and to give them multiple choices and ensure that BYD is a strong player in the market.
ده ينقلنا بقى لام جي والمنافسه. هو الشركه بره، يعني اي حد طبيعي هيحس بضيق وغيره ان انت هيبقى ليك اهتمام ببراند تاني منافس ليه، وانت وكيلي ووكيل. انت شايف يعني ام جي وبي واي دي والتنافس بينهم، انت هتقدر تحقق الاثنين اللي هو ام اللي هم عايزينه؟
The question could be, Mr. Islam, it's also competing with an X brand that I'm not handling or a Y brand that I'm not handling.
Yeah.
Our philosophy is very clear, all right? We treat each brand independently and individually, all right? And if they compete in the market, it is okay. And that's fine.
Yes.
Because end of the day, the customer needs to benefit, right? And there is a customer for every brand. So if there is a competition, if there is an overlap between the brands, that's fine.
ده كويس للسوق المصري، ولكن بالنسبة ليهم بره، يعني ام جي متفهمة ان المنصور وكيلها يبقى عنده اكتر من براند، وكيل اكتر من براند اخر.
No, end of the day, I am fulfilling the needs of my OEMs, right? When an OEM is looking for a partner, right? What do they look for? They look for a partner that has stability, right? That has a professional organization, right? That has dedicated resources for ensuring that the brand is in good hands and is invested in, right? So do you see me taking any of the MG showrooms and putting into BYD? No.
Of course not, yeah.
Do you see me taking any people from MG and putting into BYD? No.
Yeah.
So whether MG is with me under the Mansoor name or it is with another company under their name, all right? For me, we treat it like this. It's a separate business. It's a separate investment. It's a separate brand. And they have to go and compete in the market with everyone else, whether that everyone else is my brand or somebody else's brand. And that's how we grow the business. That's how we ensure we give the right service to our consumers. We are not playing one brand against the other. That I like BYD, so I will go after BYD. I like MG, I will... No. Each brand, like I said, has a role to play in our portfolio, has a role to play in the company strategy. And each brand has to be supported by its own resources, by its own investment, with its own team, so that end of the day, we grow each of our brands.
ذكرت اللي ممكن يبقى فيه براند جديد مع المنصور للسيارات، ده هيحصل قريب؟
No. I never mentioned that.
Yeah.
Never mentioned that.
No brand could come.
No. Again, my friend Islam, we are not in the business of collecting brands, right?
Yeah.
We are in the business of seeing what the market needs, and then whichever brand we bring to the market, we need to make the right investment and make it into a success story to the best of our ability. Right? We are not here to just take brands on our shoulders and then see whether it works or does not work. That's not us, right? Very simply put. If we take a brand, then we are committed to it. We have to make it into something meaningful, both from a consumer standpoint and for our shareholders and our company. So as of now, no, we have our hands full.
مصنع ماك مفترض الإنتاج بتاعه يبدأ إمتى؟
As we announced, work is going on the plant in full speed. The complete construction and placement of the equipment for manufacturing and the machinery will be done, inshallah, by end of September, right? And
Next September, yeah.
This coming September, 7 months from now, all right? And we'll start trial production in October and full-fledged production by November.
BYD هتصنع في مصر أو هتتجمع في مصر. علشان بسأل السؤال ده علشان إيه؟ هل تجميع العربيات الكهرباء ونقل البطاريات من الصين لهنا وإجراءات السلامة والقواعد كل ده بيزيد تكلفة كبيرة جدا على سعر المنتج؟ فهل هناك ميزة أو قيمة إضافية إنك تصنع BYD أو عربية كهرباء هنا؟
Again, let me tackle this in two parts, all right?
Yeah.
Number one, from our own manufacturing capability. All right. Yes, our plant will have the capability to assemble and manufacture electric vehicles. All right, because the plant has been designed in this way, the tooling equipment has been planned in this way that we can do electric vehicles if required in the future. Right. As far as the BYD local manufacturing is concerned, this is still not confirmed. All right. We are still studying it to see if it makes business sense to assemble and manufacture it here locally. And it is not confirmed at this stage, Islam. But hopefully in the next couple of months, we will have clarity on this, whether it makes sense to assemble the vehicles here locally or does not make sense to assemble the vehicles here locally.
طب هنكمل في جزئية التصنيع دي، بس أنا ملاحظ إن كل الاستثمارات اللي بتحصل في مصر في التجميع المحلي أو في صناعة السيارات تبقى دايما على عاتق الوكيل لوحده. وبما إنك بتتعامل مع الشركات الصينية أكتر من شركة صينية أو شركات سيارات بشكل عام، ليه ما فيش رغبة عند الشركات الأم إنها تستثمر فلوسها أو على الأقل بالشراكة معكم؟
You know, we have to understand that this is a very high intensive capital business. All right. When I say high intensive capital business, because if you go and invest $150 million or $125 million in a plant, that is a lot of money that you're investing. All right.
Yes.
If we do not have the right policies, the right regulations, and consistency of policy and regulations for the long term, all right? And when I say long term, it is at least a minimum 10 years before you then revisit it again, right? We will never see the industrialization grow, all right? Or we will never see OEMs having the confidence to come in and invest. It has only been in the recent past, I would say 12 to 15 months, that we today have what we call the AIDP, which is a policy to support the industrialization of the automotive industry here in the country, right? And my belief is with the investments that we are seeing from local companies like ourselves and others who've done it or are doing it, we will see the confidence of the OEMs go up. And then you will see the OEMs come into the market with investments in order to take benefit of what Egypt has to offer. It's a phase of where we are building credibility for the investments. We are building credibility by having the right regulations, right? And at the same time, need to ensure that there is enough demand and scale in the market that will attract an OEM to come and invest in the country. So as I see it, I don't see that very far away. Yes, today, the major investments are coming from local homegrown companies, but it's a matter of time before we see the OEMs come in.
مصنع ماك فتح شهيتكم للاستثمار أكتر في التصنيع، وبالتالي بحثتم عن فرص استثمار في التصنيع خارج مصر وتحديدا في أوزبكستان.
Again, our intention is to be an automotive company with a regional footprint, right? And that regional footprint obviously expands into Africa, Central Asia, Middle East, etc., right? So that tomorrow when we start producing from here, right? We have our operations in some of the key markets where we can export to from here. So that's one part of the strategy. Uzbekistan is an opportunity that we saw, right? And we partnered with a company in Uzbekistan who already has manufacturing setup, all right, in order to bring light commercial vehicles and passenger vehicles under the MG and Wuling brand into Uzbekistan. It's a sizable market. It's a good opportunity, but we're just starting the journey, and inshallah we'll get there. For example, today, Mr. Islam, I have operations in Iraq. I have operations in Libya. Right, I have operations in Africa, whether it is Ghana, Ivory Coast, Uganda, Tanzania. Right, these have been put in place from a long-term point of view, that tomorrow when we start manufacturing here and we do get the access to export rights and we get the cost right and the quality right, then from here, these markets can be served from the units that are being produced here. And I have a distribution network in those markets.
ولكن هو مش قرارك. أعتقد إنه بيبقى قرار الشركة الأم.
Yes, it is by the OEM. Correct. You're right. It is by the OEM. And that's why I mentioned in my comment that if we do get the market access right from the OEM, then we already have a base in these markets to start exporting from here. And bottom line is, if I get the cost right, quality right, for cars that are manufactured here, why will we not get the export access from the OEM to those markets?
عايز أسألك سؤال مهم جدا ليه علاقة بخدمات ما بعد البيع. توافر قطع الغيار بالتحديد أصبح أزمة، أو هكذا الناس شايفاها أنها أزمة حاليا متواجدة في أغلب البراند. ده ترجعه لإيه أو شايف سبب ده إيه؟
I can't talk about all the brands, all right? But I can certainly talk about our brands. We don't have a parts issue. There is no concern whatsoever on parts availability. And if there is a concern, then I'm sitting here to address it. Now, if there is a constraint in the availability of the part from the OEM or the supplier, then there's so much I can do other than pushing them, all right? But from an availability standpoint, in any of our brands, we have no issue on the part side. The problem what happens, Mr. Islam, is you see new brands coming in, right?
Yes.
And importantly, one of the critical aspects when you bring a new brand to market, right, is making sure that the parts are available, the service is available, your staff and technicians are well trained, and this is very important to build the confidence of the customer. And from our perspective, this is more important than even selling the car.
Yes.
It is more important than selling the car. I would not go and launch a new brand in the market without ensuring availability of parts, without ensuring availability of a service center, all right? And without ensuring the complete training of technicians that can really maintain and manage the product.
بس هو في نسبة بيغطيها الوكيل في مخازنه، واعتقد النسبة بتبقى يعني اعتقد توصل ل 95%. هل انتوا كل العلامات اللي تحت المنصور عندها النسبة دي مغطية النسبة دي من قطع الغيار؟
Yes. So if this is a very important metric, right, that we measure. What is the first pick part availability percentage, right, in our warehouses? So today, with most of our brands, right, we are exceeding 94-95% parts availability, right? Now, sometimes what happens is that you have certain parts that are long lead item from the OEM, right? And it takes time for them to source those parts, which might be for previous model years or older vehicles, right? That could be the only constraint, right? But it's not that we as reputed importers and distributors are not working on that. We are ensuring that we find all ways and means to get the parts so the customer does not suffer. But bottom line is, you cannot be in this market or any market for that matter and build a brand when you don't have the right parts backup or the service backup. Next time, I need to do this meeting with you.
Yes.
In our parts center, all right? Where I can walk you through the whole process of ordering parts, how the parts are stocked, how the parts are distributed, what is the service level, what is the time it takes to get the part to the customer or the service center. I'd be happy to show it to you.
For all brands?
All brands, yes.
دي نقطة مهمة جدا. المنصور بتهتم بخدمات رائد البيع وتوفر قطع الغيار. انتوا عندكم عربيات نقل كتير وانتوا تقريبا واخدين اغلب السوق. ايه اهميه قطع الغيار بالنسبه للمساله دي؟
Most important point is the availability of spare parts in every nook and corner of the country, because the commercial vehicle customer's mindset is totally different than a passenger car customer. Right? Number one, has his own calculation for maintenance. He has his own calculation for running. He will not come to the authorized workshop. He will want to go to a workshop closest to his space, to where he is, right? So that he can fix the vehicle quickly, maintain the vehicle quickly, because every minute he loses, he's losing money. So when you look at it, our parts distribution for commercial vehicles is a very, very complex and deep parts distribution system. I have more than 450 parts outlets for commercial vehicles.
Yeah.
Right? Because I want the part to, even if it doesn't come back to me for service, I want to make sure that the part is available in every street in the country. And that's why the customer has the confidence on the brand. And of course, the quality of the vehicle, the reliability of the vehicle, which is equally or more important, the customer has the confidence on the brand. So service, after sales, parts is very, very important, extremely important. Like for 11 years, Islam, right? My office was not here.
Yeah.
My office was in the main hub of after sales on Cairo Alex Road.
يعني مكتبك طول الوقت في مركز خدمة الهرم الرئيسي.
Exactly. Exactly.
مهتم بنفسك انك تقابل الناس وتشوف
Absolutely.
كل مشاكلهم.
Absolutely. Because that's how you gain the loyalty of customers, that you gain, the trust of the customers. And again, like I always say, we may not be perfect, all right? And nobody will ever be perfect, right? But when you know there is an issue, fix it. End of the day, put yourself always in the customer's shoes and see what is he feeling, what does he want. And after sales is very, very important.
آخر سؤال أو آخر حاجة عايزها منك، مع تعدد العلامات الكتير والعربيات الكتيرة جدا واختلافها وتشابهها مع بعض، إيه النصيحة اللي توجهها للمشتري وهو مقبل على شراء عربية؟
Again, I'm not somebody who can tell something to the consumers, all right? But if I'm a buyer myself, what I will look for is to deal with a brand which really has the customer in their mind, all right? To deal with a brand which has been there in the market or globally for a long time. And last but not the least, again, repeating the same point, is the support, the after-sales service, the availability of service centers, the availability of spare parts is extremely critical, because this ensures that it's not just the pricing and the product, right? Because every product will have a problem. It's a mechanical product or even an electrical product, right? And not just cars, whether it is a refrigerator, whether it's an air conditioner, it's a mechanical product which will have a problem. So whoever can serve you the best can make sure that they're standing behind the product, they're standing behind you. That's the brand that will be successful, and that's the brand that will gain the loyalty of the customers and the trust of the customers.
مستر أنكوش، في نهاية حديثنا إيه أقرب حاجة هتقدمها المنصور للسيارات للسوق المصري؟
The closest thing. So like I said, we have more models coming from BYD, right?
Yeah.
And we have a new brand coming in.
New brand?
Yes, which is Cadillac.
Cadillac, yeah, that's not new. Okay.
But for the market, it's new, coming back of, or you can say the comeback of Cadillac.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So stay tuned. You will hear more about these in the next couple of weeks.
Like what?
I can't tell you what, but it'll be very exciting.
After Eid.
After Eid.
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
Thank you, Mr. Ankush.
Thank you, Mr.
For your
Islam.
time. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.